Hello, Scream Demons, and welcome to the Screams from the Basement podcast.
This is the scariest horror podcast on this side of the Black Lagoon. Screams from the Basement discusses the best double features the genre has to offer.
We also interview the industry's finest that help make our screams become nightmares. I am one of your creepy co-hosts. I am Casey.
And I'm Sam the Damned, and let's get screaming.
Sam.
Casey.
We are doing, maybe, finally, getting back to the best double features, as we say in the intro of this podcast, every time we record. This is one of those. This is one of those best double features that we could talk about.
Yeah, I agree. I considered taking a big bong rip before we started this because there's nothing I love better than reviewing things with a fried brain. But no.
Shout out to that YouTube commenter if you came back for more of these fried brain stoners reviewing movies. After our disaster that was the town that dreaded sundown double feature.
Hey, I was fair in my assessment of those movies, and if you like them, more power to you. They were not for me. These movies are for me. I like both of these. We are, as you said, back to the best double features the genre has to offer.
We are, and we have to give a thanks here at the top of the show to friend of the podcast, author Haley Newlin, who unfortunately could not make the episode. So this episode is dedicated to Haley. This is her double feature idea that she pitched to us last time she was on the show when we talked about
House on Haunted Hill
Price.
And 13 Ghosts.
Yeah.
Another double feature I really loved.
Yeah, and we're back. We're back doing oldies horror. We're back doing black and white horror on this episode. So shout out to Haley Newlin. Go check out her work. Like, she does such a wonderful job. And she did tell us that one of these films in particular that has a whole lot of fog was very inspirational to her book, the film you were about to see. So we will talk about that fog.
Yes, we will. It's probably the foggiest movie other than The Fog. And maybe
more than The Fog.
Probably more than The Fog, honestly. The Fog isn't in every frame of The Fog. The Fog is in every frame of City of the Dead.
Damn near every frame of that movie. But Sam, the two movies we're talking about today, though, that Haley gave to us to talk about here is 1960s Psycho and 1960s The City of the Living Dead. Not to be confused with the one I just said.
Not Living Dead. We already covered that one.
Yes. City of the Dead. Not to be confused with, as I just did, The City of the Living Dead, which is a Lucio Fulci movie.
You can view our episode on that with Tad Good from Attack of the Killer podcast. We did that one 2 years ago maybe?
Very early on in this show.
Yeah, we did the whole Fulci Gates of Hell trilogy, which was awesome. Yeah. But we're not doing Fulci tonight. We're doing a thriller, as Hitchcock would maybe call it. It's a horror movie, but and a stuffy British movie that also has witches in it.
Yeah, we're doing two hotel horror bangers, certified. Yeah. Put that Screams from the Basement stamp on it, certified bangers. Here with Psycho and The City of the Dead, aka Horror Hotel. I might just call it Horror Hotel for the rest of the episode, just so I don't confuse myself.
Hey, that's totally fair. When you look this movie up, depending on where you're at, whether it's Letterboxd or Wikipedia or whatever, the title does change. Like there's both of them are valid. But which one do you want to start with first? Because we usually go chronological. I did not look at which one of these actually came out first in 1960.
Well, let's start with that then. We're going to start with Psycho, and I'll explain why.
That's kind of what I figured.
Psycho, of course. I mean, one of the greatest movies of all time. We have to talk about that one first. Because Psycho was released September 8th, 1960, here in the United States of America. The City of the Dead, aka Horror Hotel, was released September 12th, 1962, in the UK. But do you want to guess?
Interesting.
Its release date in the United States in 1960. Excuse me.
Was it
1962 was the US date. Excuse me. What
okay?
what do you
Yeah,
think
but
what do you think the UK date was on this movie in
was it
1960?
the exact same thing as Psycho?
It released September 8th, 1960 in the UK.
Dang.
So both of these movies released September 8th, 1960 in their respective countries.
Hell yeah.
Just one
You
of them
know,
had a bowler hat, one did not.
yeah, one of them had a bowler hat. So real quick before we get into Psycho, I do want to mention I watched City of the Dead at the Joe Bob presentation because he just played it on the
Yeah.
last episode or the last season of The Last Drive-In, which is how I watched it for the first time. That's actually the only way I've watched it. Um, and what's interesting to me is that City of the Dead was in the can before they even started filming Psycho. Like City of the Dead was made before Psycho, but it's so crazy the similarities of these two movies. The thing is though, Robert Bloch did the novel back in 58. I think the
Yeah.
novel was of Psycho was published in 58. So really when we're talking about the structure and the bait and switch midway through both of these movies, you actually can attribute it to Robert Bloch. Which I'll have more to say as we dig into Psycho. Have you read Psycho?
I've never read Psycho. No.
Okay. I have. It's been a long time, but I had that and I had his it was a book with both his Psycho and his Psycho 2, which he wrote as a critique on Hollywood slashers the year that Psycho 2 the movie came out. Neither one of them have anything to do with each other, and in fact Universal tried to talk him out of publishing that novel that year, and he was like, no, fuck you, I'm gonna do it anyways. Psycho 2, his book, very different from the first Psycho. It's
Yeah, I'm sure.
it's brutal. There's necrophilia and like a bunch like Norman kills and then fucks a nun and then dresses up in her habit to escape prison. It's wild.
So not what happens in the movie Psycho 2.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Yeah, Norman does not do that in that movie.
No, Norman is actually a pretty sympathetic character in Psycho 2, actually.
Yeah, he's not
in the movie, but in the book, no, he's just a straight up monster. Like
Yeah.
it is Robert Bloch being like, you're gonna make a sequel to this movie and you're not even gonna involve me. It's crazy. Like Norman goes to Hollywood where they're making a movie about his life and he starts killing everybody involved with the production. Like it's Robert Bloch's big middle finger to Universal. So if there are any people out there who haven't read Psycho 2, highly recommend it.
Well, I'm going to say this then, before we even jump into Psycho. It's my dream casting for Norman Bates forever, and now I want him to play that Norman Bates. I want someone to make Psycho 2, but like Robert Bloch Psycho 2.
Yeah.
With Andrew Garfield as Norman Bates.
Oh God, he would be great. He would be great
Yeah, that's
for
just
sure.
I don't know. I just picture him as Norman.
You know who I think really needs the exposure and something that like I think if they remade Psycho today, they really should just Tom Holland. That guy just needs more.
Needs more movies to be in.
He needs more movies to be in.
Yes, Child's Play director Tom Holland
Yeah.
needs to be in more movies.
In more movies, yes, exactly. Tom Holland, the director of Fright Night, needs to play Norman.
Needs to play Norman Bates. Tom Holland, I believe, director of one of the Psychos, right?
Yeah, I think
Did he do two?
He at least wrote and direct.
or
He at
4?
least wrote 2. I can't remember if he directed it.
We're connecting this entire critique of the Psycho franchise. I'm pretty sure he directed Psycho 2. No, he wrote Psycho 2. Got it. Okay.
Okay.
So I knew
okay.
he was somewhere in one of those sequels.
But he is in Psycho 2 as Deputy Norris.
See?
So it's legacy casting.
It is.
Uh,
All right, Sam. Well, let's jump into this. Let's not beat around the bush any further.
Yeah.
Let's jump into 1960s Psycho, directed by this little-known director named Alfred Hitchcock, written by Joseph Stefano, based on the book by Robert Bloch. Cast includes Anthony Perkins as the iconic Norman Bates, Janet Leigh as the equally iconic Marion Crane, Vera Miles as Lila Crane, John Gavin as Sam Loomis, and I have to mention a couple more key people behind the scenes on this movie. The score is performed by Bernard Herrmann, with the title design by the great Saul Bass. Sam, what is 1960s Psycho for those who have never watched a horror movie before?
well, without spoiling anything, we are going to spoil it later, but a woman who did nothing wrong. She's completely innocent. She stops by a failing motel on her way to surprise her boyfriend, only to be murdered by the weirdo mama's boy that runs the establishment. It's then up to her sister and boyfriend to solve her disappearance. Psycho.
Psycho.
Like that plot is the plot. And in lesser hands, the second half of this movie would not work. You know what I mean? Like, this is one of those movies that structurally should not work. You're basically introduced to your protagonists an hour into your movie. You know, like, I mean, you get a little bit of Sam, the boyfriend, in the opening scene. But, like, not enough for you to care about him. You know, like, he's just some guy.
And Lila is literally just mentioned in passing.
Yeah, like,
until 50 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I don't know. I think this movie is so cool in what it does and so neat and unique. And also, so I've seen this movie so many times.
Yeah.
Like, let's break into our history.
Sure.
I remember watching this movie and I knew the shower scene, right? I knew that she was going to get killed. I didn't know that. I mean, spoilers for a movie that's now.
We can spoil. We don't have to put a spoiler warning on Psycho.
I did not actually know that Norman was his mother the first time I watched it. So that moment when he comes out in full drag with the knife, smiling, like, genuinely was like, what the fuck, you know? Like, I should have seen it coming, but I didn't. And I remember just being blown away by this movie. Like, and I went out and I bought the book and I read the book and I read the sequel and I thought, wow, the sequel's really fucked up. Because it is. And I ruined so many parties with this movie because I had a lot of friends who liked horror, but this movie was too slow for them. Like, we grew up in the Freddy versus Jason era of horror, right? If there wasn't blood spatter every
they're
10
like,
minutes.
why can't we watch Leprechaun in the Hood? Why are we watching this old black and white movie?
Right, exactly. So, like, there were a lot of times that I'd bring this over and people would be like halfway through it and they'd be like, why are you making me watch this? And in hindsight, like, I get it. You go to a teenage party. Like, this is not a teen horror movie, you know? Like, I was just a weirdo who really liked it and just saw I saw something in this movie, obviously, because it's a classic for a reason. But the point is, I've seen it so many times. I think I've seen it twice in the theater now. And it kind of lost its potency for me for a while. And this rewatch where I was just like, I'm in on Psycho. Like, I'm gonna intentionally just, like, really watch this movie for this discussion. It creeped me the fuck out. Like it genuinely got under my skin in a way that it hasn't in years. Like it's a genuinely unnerving piece of work. And I don't know. This last rewatch was almost like watching it for the first time again. Like I just kind of immersed myself in it. And I also watched the uncut version, which is not very different. Have you seen the uncut version of
I've
this?
never seen I didn't know there was an uncut version of Psycho.
So apparently it's actually the original theatrical cut. Like it got put out and audiences found it too disturbing, so they did little cuts. Like I think the movie itself is only about a minute longer, but it's you watch Norman watching Marion through the peephole for a little bit longer. Norman washing the blood off of his hands after disposing of the body is a lot longer. And the stabbing of the detective, instead of just two quick stabs, like there is actually like multiple, like four different stabs. So it was available as like a special feature on my copy, and so I was just like, well, I'll pop it on. And I was like, I didn't really notice anything different, but I am kind of wondering if just those little microscopic edits that they put back in enhanced that for me. Like that, because it felt a little bit more visceral this time around. So I don't know. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on the not very different uncut version, but it felt different to me. Like the
Sure.
vibe of it. I don't know.
Sure.
It just felt a little more in your face. So, anyways, that's enough of my droning. What is your history with this movie, Casey?
So my history with it is interesting because the first time I like was exposed to Psycho in a way, besides like hearing things in other movies and it being referenced and rant, 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 like that's in Wayne's World. Like I've grown up on that movie, so like
Looney
certain
Tunes back
things
in action.
yeah, Looney Tunes. There's so many different things that homage Psycho. It's kind of like Star Wars. When I like first watched it, I was like, I already knew Darth Vader was Luke's dad.
Mhm.
It's kind of the same thing with this movie. It's just in the zeitgeist in many ways.
Yeah.
But the first time I was like exposed to it was in 2011, 2012. We made a trip out to Los Angeles, California, where they make the movies, the moving pictures. And we went on the Universal Backlot tour. And we saw the Bates Motel. They had the Bates house behind it, and then you had a Norman like standing there by the hotel.
Nice.
Completely taken out of that because right behind the hotel, right behind the Bates Motel, was the set to How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Ron Howard movie that was still built behind it.
Oh my
So you
god,
just
that's
see all these
crazy.
really weird, intricate, buildings behind it with like different
Yeah.
colors, like pink and orange, and
Yeah, that's
so it
crazy.
kind of just takes you complete. I think it's gone now. I don't think the Grinch set is up anymore, and I know they've
Tragic.
have redone some of the Psycho sets and stuff like that. Um, I think the house might still be the same, but they moved the hotel or built a new hotel, something like that.
Yeah.
So that was like my first exposure to it. But actually watching the movie, very similar to last time we were together when we talked about The Town That Dreaded Sundown. If you remember, first time I watched that was on the high seas.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
well,
Yep.
in college. This was another movie that I watched on the high seas during college because my college professor said, "Don't go to your local library, torrent it instead."
So crazy.
So, guess what? That was the first time I watched Psycho, was on my laptop. Much like you though, I didn't know the twist
Yeah.
of Norman being mom. I for some reason at that point I think I thought it was going to be like a Friday the 13th thing
Yeah. Yeah, I
where
think
like
I
the
think I kind
mom
of thought
and
that
Norman
too.
are the killers, like Mrs. Voorhees and Jason are, because I had seen the Friday the 13th movies by that point. But yeah, I mean, classic movie right away. so classic that I was like, I need more of this. So instead of watching Psycho 2, 3, 4, I found the Vince Vaughn version to watch right
Oh,
after. So
no.
I think the same night, if I'm not mistaken, same day, whatever, watched Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, and then the shot-for-shot remake from Gus Van Sant of
Oof.
Psycho.
That's rough. Watching them back to back like that, I imagine that the remake did absolutely nothing for you because it's truly baffling. Like I
It's one of the most
we
baffling
covered
remakes of all time.
yeah, yeah. Like on one of our old shows on Slash Lab, we did cover all of the Psycho sequels and the remake in an episode.
Yeah.
Um and I stand by what I said there where I'm like the Gus Van Sant Psycho is not a good movie. But it is fascinating, and I think if you like film, if you're interested in film, it is a good movie to watch at least once because it shows you that even doing every technical thing right doesn't always make a good movie.
Yeah.
And I genuinely like to me that movie is such a fascinating misfire. Um that I do recommend people watch it at least once, but once is probably enough.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I don't think I even rewatched it when we did a podcast on it
well,
5 years ago or
there's
whatever.
no need if you've seen it.
Yeah.
There's no need if you've seen the original
If
Psycho.
you've seen
Really.
Psycho, yeah.
But I will say 2 through 4, and I am even counting 4 even though it's TV budget and a little cheesy at times. I actually like all of the Psycho sequels
Yeah.
quite a bit. Like
Yeah. I
I
would
think
love
it's
to
a
cover more of
surprisingly
them
solid.
on this show, especially 3.
Yeah.
I think 2 is the best
2 is my
sequel.
favorite. Yeah.
2 is the best sequel for Norman Bates as a character. 3 is just a sleazy slasher.
Yeah. And 3 is directed by Perkins, so
Yeah.
there's that extra cool element added. So yeah, I don't know. This is one of those movies that I avoided the sequel. Like all of those were first time watches for me when we covered them back on that show because Psycho is such a perfect movie. I'm like, why the fuck would you ever make a sequel to this? You know? Like I'm glad they did though, because honestly, all of the sequels have something different to offer that kind of expands on Norman and the world, and yeah, I like it. None of them are the first one,
No.
but
Well, let's jump into the first one. I mean,
yeah,
how much more can we dissect of this movie that hasn't been dissected in the past
right,
66 years now since this movie came out?
yeah, exactly. Like I even put that in my letterbox review of this one. Like I don't know if I have anything substantial to add
Yeah.
to the conversation,
No.
but
But here's the thing. I want to talk. We're still going to go through the movie. I want to talk about this opening scene in particular.
Mhm.
Because you get this opening crane shot
Yeah,
into Marion Crane's place that she's meeting up with Sam.
hmm
And again, for 1960,
very
full,
racy.
very racy. An
Yeah,
unmarried couple shown in bed together. She's literally getting dressed. She's shown in a bra multiple times throughout the movie. Yeah, an unmarried couple in bed together.
hmm
Racy, I know. And that's kind of the interesting thing about the like controversy of the actual plot of the movie, of her stealing the money and going to be with her boyfriend. Like that was such a taboo thing of the time.
hmm Well, and he's okay. He's divorced already, correct?
He is yes, he is divorced
Yeah.
and paying alimony.
Yes, he's paying alimony. He's like, as soon as my ex-wife gets remarried, we can be together legitimately. I just don't have the money to provide a life for you that you deserve,
Yes, since he's
essentially.
already paying his ex-wife.
Yeah, yeah. Which is a really interesting dynamic and a really interesting setup. I said it in the opening, a little tongue in cheek, but I genuinely like Marion as a character. I don't. Yes, she stole. It's wrong. But the guy she steals from is such a fucking sleazebag.
Okay, we gotta talk about this because I know you said Marion did nothing wrong. Here's the
Yeah.
thing: the guy is a sleazebag.
He never carries an. He only carries enough money that he can afford to lose, Casey.
He did say that, yes. She also did steal his money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did
She
he
did it
deserve
for
it? Probably, but
she did
like
it for altruistic purposes, Casey.
she
She
did.
did it for love.
She did it for love. At one point later on, she says she's going to return the money. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't
It's
think
literal,
Marion's a
yeah.
I don't think Marion's a bad person at all.
No.
She made a bad decision, and
Yeah.
that bad decision led her down a path that leads to us getting introduced to Norman
An actual
Bates,
bad person.
an actual bad person. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love because the thing I focused on the most while watching it this time is what Hitchcock does with the money, with the $40,000, because we spend so much time with
Yeah, like
the
looking
money,
at
the
the money.
actual money, the actual stack of $40,000, the envelope, the
Yeah.
newspaper that it goes in. He spends so much time just lingering on that.
That you think it's going to be a bigger deal.
Yes. And then
Yeah.
50 minutes in, it goes sinking in a swamp. And that's
Yeah.
it.
It's so cool. Like
Yeah.
I love that aspect of it because yeah, it's almost like he sets it up like it's a MacGuffin. He sets it up like
Yes.
that is and it is kind of the catalyst for the whole movie,
Yeah.
but like it's not important by the back half of it. Like
it's the Hitchcock show the gun in the beginning of your scene,
mm-hmm.
but then don't have it go off by the end of the scene.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so like the scene in which Norman is cleaning up after the crime and he's making it look like she checked out and left. The last thing he grabs is the money. He almost forgets it. Like he almost doesn't even see it tucked away in the newspaper on the stand. It's the last thing he sees before he leaves and he goes, "Oh, better grab that." He doesn't even know there's money in it. He grabs a newspaper, throws it in the trunk with the body, and then yeah, sinks it in the lake or the bog or whatever. Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, it's
And
just
the whole time I'm sitting there going, I could use $40,000.
which is I want to say it's like $250,000 now, something like that.
Oh, easily. Yeah, probably.
So
Which
I mean, a pretty big chunk of change, I suppose. If he was buying a house, right? Is what the guy was buying.
yes, he was buying a house for his daughter who had just gotten married.
Yeah. So
Or was about to get
250,000. I
married.
mean, probably yeah, in 2026.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just so fascinating to watch the movie, kind of through the eyes of the wad of cash.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like it's just gone, disappears, and in many ways, that's kind of unfortunately Marion in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, as soon as she's discarded from the movie, so is the money.
Yeah. Well, and like you kind of you understand where she's coming from, right? Like she's not doing it because she's a bad person. She's doing this because this is the way out that she sees from this unhappy life that she's leading. She's in a job that she clearly doesn't care about. Like she's working for, she's working for a guy who's just, like there's no passion in her work. She doesn't even seem super friendly with the other woman in the office that she works with.
No.
Like she's just kind of fed up with this life. She wants her life with Sam, and she sees a way to do that, and she just doesn't even think. She's like, "Oh, this is my way out." And you empathize with that. You even sympathize with her. And while she's running, and she's got like a cop that's kind of trailing her, at least for the first part, like the way this movie sets up is almost like it's not a heist movie, but it kind of feels like that. It feels like, oh, she's going to steal the money. Is she going to get away with it?
Yeah.
And then you have the shower scene, and it completely changes the movie. It completely changes what movie you're in. It changes
movies.
Gears. Yeah, it really does. Like, your main character now, I mean, I know I said like Lila and Sam are, but let's face it, they're kind of just boring secondary characters. Your main character in the back half is Norman. Like
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you were watching Marion try and get away with something in the first half, and then in the second half you're watching Norman try and get away with something. And neither one of them are good at lying to cops.
Horrible
They're
liars.
both really bad at lying to cops.
Yeah. I found it interesting. So when Marion is getting ready and she's like contemplating if she should steal the money, she just takes it home with her at first,
Mm-hmm.
which
It's
is
like
fine.
she tests the waters a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what happens is this is like her trajectory. This is her hopping on that roller coaster of what's about to happen in her life. And I just found it fascinating that she's getting dressed when that happens. And when she gets off the roller coaster, if you know what I'm getting at,
Yep.
she's undressing.
Yep.
And it's just the way Hitchcock just weaves in symbolism like that throughout this movie is,
Well,
obviously
then,
he's a master. He's a master of film.
in the opening, there's even like color coding almost, where in the opening the bra she's in is white,
Yeah.
right? And when she makes the decision to steal the money, the bra she's in is black. It's like very much that like dark versus light color coding.
It's the showing
thing, like
Luke in Return of the Jedi wearing black, and then by the end he's like got white showing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's the like literally the black and white of it all. Like, and it's kind of,
but it's never
kind
in
of
your
hilarious.
face in this movie.
Oh no, like I don't think it's like, it's obviously an intentional choice, but it's not, you don't feel Hitchcock winking at the camera when he's making these things, you know, like
he does show up in the camera. He does not wink at it.
Yeah, he does show up. One of my favorite things is when Marion's boss sees her as he's walking through the crosswalk, and she's told him she's just gonna go home and sleep her headache off. And he sees her later, and she's driving, you know, presumably not towards the bank. And he kind of gives a double take, like looks at her before she drives away. And then while she's driving, she has it in her head, like how things are going to play out, you know, and she's hearing dialogue between, you know, her sister and her boss and the guy who, you know, she stole the 40,000 from. And like, as someone who struggles with anxiety, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that is what your brain does. Like, I see one person, it, like, I don't know. It's like when you call in sick and then you run into someone from work.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the day, you can't even, like, you're just like, oh no, oh God, oh, they're gonna, like, you know, it's so stupid. It's so stupid because, like, I guarantee you her boss didn't really think anything of it after that initial, like, huh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he probably just went along with his day and was like, well, whatever. Maybe she was going to a doctor or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. If she would have shown up at work the next day, it would have been...
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. Yeah. Also, her boss is pretty aloof, so I'm surprised he even noticed her.
Right? Yeah. I'm also like, who's walking across the crosswalk, like, looking into cars?
Yeah.
I'm not making eye contact with the drivers when I'm going across.
Also, why isn't he at work?
Yeah, exactly. And why isn't he driving? He's a rich person with a business.
Maybe
That's
he
fishy.
lives downtown.
Yeah,
he's
maybe.
a rich person.
Maybe he
can
walks
walk.
to work, yeah.
Yeah. When we end up at the Bates Motel, I find Norman's behavior fascinating on how he interacts with certain people throughout this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So when he interacts with Marion, it's very, very friendly. You don't think anything suspicious of this guy.
Yeah.
Like, he just seems like a nice guy. Maybe this is where the story will go, where she ends up on the run with him or something like that.
Right, yeah. Yeah, there's a flirtatiousness in their bits together
Yeah.
for at least a while.
It's
and I
not,
like how
it's not until you get into the back parlor where you're like, this
something's
guy's
wrong
got
with
some,
this guy.
yeah, this guy's got some screws loose. Because you hear Mother yelling at Norman while he's like making the sandwiches for Marion. And then when he comes back, he refuses to go into her room that time.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
after he's already been in her room. He's opened the windows, kind of shown her around, you know,
Yeah.
hotel room number one, but then
And he,
refuses to go back in it after quote unquote mother has talked to him about this woman.
yeah. Well, and he won't, even the first time he goes in, he won't say bathroom in front of her, which is like your first kind of hint that he's like maybe just at least a little socially inept.
Yeah.
And what I love about Norman is when there are a lot of moments where he like kind of almost fakes confidence when he's first talking to people, and then the minute the detective starts asking him questions he doesn't like, that facade shifts and he's just
Yeah.
like, he's a mess. And it's kind of the same thing with Marion, right? Like where he's a little bit more like confident, at least in their initial interaction, and that just starts slipping away as things get more complicated in his mind, you know? Um,
Yeah. I mean, he starts every conversation with 12 cabins, 12 vacancies. Like a
yeah, and
fun thing he probably says to every person that
yeah,
stops at the Bates Motel.
yeah, and so you know that he kind of has a rhythm with guests and things, but then you kind of question like, oh shit, does he have a rhythm with guests where he's like 12 cabins, 12 vacancies, and then he's just killing everybody in there? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. Um, oh no, I won't get us off track. I have you? I am gonna ask real quick. Have you watched the show Bates Motel?
I've watched like the first like 2 seasons.
Okay, okay. I actually like that show. It's not
I do too. I
Psycho.
liked it too.
It's
I don't know
not,
why I never
yeah.
finished it. Yeah.
It's pretty solid actually. I enjoy it quite a bit. It's a different flavor than any of the movies, but it's kind of a fascinating like remix essentially of like a Norman origin story, and I like it. I mean, Freddie Highmore and Vera Farmiga in it are just, they're great. But I like seeing Norman go from like awkward teenage boy into full blown like sociopathic murder. It's pretty great. Anyways, but yeah, so
There's an interesting thing that happens because we get the iconic like parlor scene where he's talking about his fascinate Norman's talking about his fascination with taxidermy, talking
mhm.
about his mother, talking about how a son is a poor substitute for a lover. I'm like, what a
Oh,
weird thing to say, dude.
that line hits my gag reflex. Like it is
Ugh.
really really rough. Like when he said that, I kind of forgotten about that line. I think I push it out of my brain
Yeah.
every time because like he says that and I instantly was just like, "Oh god. Oh, why would you even say something like that?"
Yeah.
You know?
I find it interesting because everybody talks about how in the second half of this movie Norman is the character you follow, right? Once Marion's
Yeah.
gone. It happens before that though. Like our point of view shifts during this scene.
Yeah.
Because the point of view this entire time has been us following Marion. She's been in every single shot,
Yep.
every scene of the movie so far. It's when she says, I'm going to bed. I have a long day tomorrow. I'm going to be up very early. And she goes back to her room, and we stay with Norman.
Mhm.
And that's really where the movie shifts of, oh, now we're following this guy. We're
Yeah.
in this guy's shoes now.
Yep. And like the way that Perkins flips the switch in that parlor scene is really interesting. Like, and all it takes is Marion suggest like asking him if he's ever thought about putting his mother in a home, and like the facade just completely shatters. Like it is so uncomfortable after that that you just want Marion to get the fuck out of that room. You're
Yeah.
like, you gotta leave. You gotta get out of here. You probably shouldn't even spend the night at this point. Like the fact that she does is insane to me. I'm like, oh, like if I'm if I'm a woman in that situation, I don't know. Like I feel like, and maybe this is me just having the self-awareness that this is a horror movie, right? Cuz everybody's like, oh, "I would have done it different." But like, whew, I don't know, after that conversation in the parlor ends, I think I'd risk the rain.
But again, Hitchcock does such a great thing earlier in the movie where he shows Marion sleeping on the side of the road,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
then the cops show up, and she's immediately like, "Oh, they're onto me. They know I have money." So that's in the back again, the back of her mind, the anxiety of
Right.
it. Of, well, I'm super tired. I've been on the road all day. I don't want the
Well,
cops questioning me if I end up on the side of the road again, even though I'm this
mhm.
close.
And I mean, she is lost. Like, she got off the highway,
Yeah.
which is another thing where, because she can, with as quick as Sam and Lila and the detective are going back
Oh,
and
yeah.
forth from
Norman
like
says
Sam's
they're
hometown.
15 miles away from
Yeah,
where Sam is living.
it's like a 20-minute drive at best.
Yeah.
So like, it is one of those things where it's like, God, if only she hadn't, somehow gotten off the highway. If only she had just kept going a little further. But she doesn't, and that's the tragedy of it. Is she was so close, and oof, yeah. She was so close to so many things. She was so close to redemption, like bringing the money back, like all that kind of stuff. And for this to happen, like, it is scary. The shower scene is a scary scene, but it's also like a deeply sad one. Like,
Yeah.
I genuinely get, like, there's just something inherently like heartbreaking about the fact that she has that moment. She's like, I want this life, but this isn't the way I want to have it. I'm going to go back. I'm going to make things right. And then for that to happen right after, oof. That's that's my favorite kind of horror. It's the Carrie prom scene where she's having the time of her life for the first time in her life and then shit hits the fan. Like, I love a horror
Gut
movie
punch.
that gives you, yeah, that like height of like, oh, I have this clarity, or I have this like euphoric moment, and then it's gone. It just gets ripped out. And I think this
Goes down the
movie does
drain.
it beautifully. Yeah, literally like a bottle of Hershey syrup.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not even going to talk about the shower scene. There's an entire documentary on it. It's
Yeah.
been literally dissected for decades
Yeah.
now. The next scene I
It's
want to
great.
talk about though is we fully have transitioned into Marion is gone. She's out of this movie completely. Now we're focusing on Norman, and then you get Arbogast, who is this private eye, this private detective who's been hired by the guy that Marion stole the money from,
Yeah.
and he's fully convinced she's somewhere in that town, like something's going on, and he makes his way out to see Norman on two different
Hmm.
occasions. And again, I want to talk about how Norman interacts with people,
Yep.
because he starts with the facade of, "Hey, I'm happy-go-lucky Norman Bates, that just a guy living out here with my mom, and we run a hotel together. 12 cabins, 12 vacancies."
Yep. And
And
then
he starts asking about Marion.
yep, he shows him the picture. Norman won't even look at it, and he goes, "Nope, we haven't had anybody here in 2 weeks." And then immediately incriminates himself by saying there was a couple here last week that blah blah blah. And it's such a painful, like, I know it's weird because at that point, like, you want Norman to get caught, but not this way.
But not, yeah,
if
not
that
by this
if that
guy.
makes sense. Yeah, like you want catharsis, but not in this way. Not
Yeah.
not with this
It's
detective that
completely
you just
different
met.
when Sam and Lila show up.
Yes.
Like, you
Then you
want him
want
to get
them to figure it out. Yeah.
yes. You don't want Arbogast to be the one.
Yeah. So the way they do it is really great because there's like a tension in this scene where you're like, well, I don't want him to catch Norman just yet, especially not this guy. And the
I just
the
love Norman, like, anxiously eating candy corn.
yeah, he's such a nervous wreck, and keeps he just keeps like contradicting himself, and finally he does, oh yeah, she was here, but like when I woke up in the morning she had already gone, and all this kind of, like, and the detectives immediately, I mean, you'd have to be stupid not to clock that, like,
He knows
Norman,
something.
he knows something. He might not know that Norman killed her. I think what his theory is that they're gonna run away together with the money. you
Yeah.
know. And
His thing this entire time is still the money.
yeah,
Even when he
like
finds out about Norman lying about his mom,
yeah, yeah.
he's like, "Oh, it's still about the money. Norman took the money."
Hmm. Yeah. And I just when he phones Lila and Sam, and then when he comes back, I love the stairway stabbing. Like, I think the way this is shot is so great. I think the tension that it brings, like when he's coming up those steps, and then you just cut to the overhead shot, and you see the shadow of Norma coming out of the room before you even see Norma, and then she comes out and just gets him across the face. He falls down the stairs, and in the uncut version, she comes down and she's like going ham on him with the knife. It's like 4 stabs before it cuts away. Like, it's a lot more vicious in the uncut version. And I really, I don't know. That was the one that I noticed the most, because I always thought that stabbing, while it was framed very cool, was like a little truncated in its delivery. And the uncut version definitely like fixes that and makes it even better.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, I liked it a lot.
And then we
Again,
get
it's the cut that was actually released to theaters, and then a bunch of people objected to it. So they cut it again after its initial theatrical release, and that's the version that's been out forever. It's so weird.
and then we get to Sam and Lila showing up at the Bates Motel. And again,
Yeah.
Norman, how he interacts with people changes again here. Because I
Yep.
would say with Marion, it's very flirtatious and friendly.
Mm-hmm.
With Arbogast, it's kind of like a little boy being talked down to by their parent.
Yep.
And then when Sam, it's kind of like, I need to go mano a mano with this guy. I see us as like two alphas going at it.
Yeah. Yeah. And the way Perkins like micro tunes his performance to each of these interactions is it's so perfect. Like,
It is.
it's legitimately one of the best performances in cinema history. Like, you just, not even horror, just cinema. Like, this performance is incredible.
Yeah.
It's all
It's
the
just,
micro expressions and the like the lingering glances and the body language of it all, you know? I
and
Yeah.
how he inflicts these lines
Mhm.
to each of the characters, and it just makes you understand the psyche of Norman Bates.
Yeah.
Which leads into, of course, the ending of the movie where Lila is in the house, finds Mother Bates, finds Norma in the basement, turns the body around. We get the skeleton of Norma
The like
sitting in
barely
the chair.
preserved skeleton.
Yeah, and then you get Norman running in with the knife, dressed up as his mother.
And that fucking grin that he has on his face is so
Terrifying.
like
He looks like
the
a different person.
the look on his like, he doesn't even look like Norman anymore. And it's not the wig, it's not the dress, it's just the physical performance of it. And
Yeah.
it's a powerhouse moment.
Until Sam tackles him, and he legit reverts
gets-
to a child.
Yeah.
Like, the wig
It's-
falls off and you see Norman back.
Yep. And it's, yeah. And that part, like, obviously you didn't want Norman to stab yet another person, but like the instant like reversion back into like pathetic Norman is kind of heartbreaking. Like, you just see him as this utterly broken human, you know? I don't know.
And then I want to get your thoughts on this as we're wrapping up our Psycho conversation. The last 5 to 7 minutes of this movie,
Yeah.
with the psychologist breaking it down, literally everything down, explaining the entire movie to us. What are your thoughts on it?
It's the one part of this movie that maybe flubs a little bit. Like, I don't know if I need a character to literally spell everything out, especially for as long as it goes. Like, I think if it was a truncated, like, shorter version, of that whole speech, it'd be one thing. It just goes on a little bit too long. In the end, though, like, this is 1960. This is, like, fresh ground for people. Like, how many people, if they wouldn't have put that in there in 1960, would have been like, what the fuck even happened there? You
Yeah.
know? So I get why it's there. I think for modern audiences, that is the part that is going to, like, really grind to a halt. But then you get the cut into Norman in the room, and you've got Mother's voice in his head as he smiles at the camera and tells the audience that he wouldn't even hurt a fly. And
We all go a little mad sometimes.
yeah, it's just so. Yes, the psychiatrist
With the shot of Norman dissolving with the mother's skull, dissolving into the swamp behind the Bates Motel. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really good. It's a really good, like, final series of shots, I guess. Because it does just, it fades into a couple different things. But, yeah, I mean, aside from the psychiatrist's maybe overlong explanation, I do like this ending. I think it's really good.
Yeah, I don't hate it. It's not necessary, but I think maybe it was in 1960, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's one of those things where it just comes with the territory of, like, the time period it was in.
Yeah.
So
I have a couple pieces of trivia just to throw out here before we get to our final thoughts on Psycho here.
Okay.
Mrs. Bates's body that we see at the end of the movie, known prankster Alfred Hitchcock put that body into Janet Leigh's dressing room just to make sure the body was scary enough.
What a dick.
Also, what a dick. He got pissed at Vera Miles, who was a Hitchcock girl, and that she got pregnant right after this movie.
Yeah.
We have to talk about that part of Hitchcock just that.
Let's face it, Hitchcock could be a dick sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
And then last, have you ever watched the trailer for Psycho?
Yes.
Yes. It's about six minutes long.
Yeah. It's like long for a trailer, but it's just Alfred Hitchcock on the set talking about the movie, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's a little bit like the Maximum Overdrive trailer.
I'm going to scare the hell out of you. Hitchcock should have said that at the end of this one.
He should have. He 100% should have.
Yeah. Psycho. Final thoughts, Sam, on Psycho and how many bags of candy corn are you? That's not good enough. No, we can't do candy corn. That's how many
mother corpses?
Mother corpses. How many newspapers filled with $40,000 are you giving this one?
Ooh, I mean, this is gonna come as a surprise to no one. Like, this is Psycho. I love this movie. It's one of the greatest movies ever made. It's a 5 out of 5 $40,000 wrapped in newspapers for me. You know, like,
yeah,
you can't improve on it. There are little things that maybe in today's day and age wouldn't have made it into the film, but like, you have to take the film as it is in the time period it was made, and like, this is damn near perfect. I love this movie. So yeah. Total 5 out of 5 for me. What about you, Casey?
I might just give this one like a 2 out of 5 just to be...
Yeah, fair. I mean...
5 out of 5, one of the greatest movies of all time, let alone one of the greatest horror movies of all time.
Yeah.
I think this is top 5 unobjected greatest horror movies of all time.
Absolutely.
I don't know what else there is to say. It's one of the best.
Yep. That's Psycho.
That's Psycho. All right, well, let's get to our first ad read of the show before we check out of this hotel and check into another one. Help! Yeah. The Basement Boys are trapped in an abandoned hotel and need your help. The best way to help the fun-loving horror fiends is by joining Patreon. By joining our Patreon, you get bonus perks that you cannot find anywhere else, including monthly bonus podcasts, vlogs from our horror collections, and exclusive movie reviews. Each subscription to Patreon helps the Basement Boys escape Norman Bates's motel, and you can join by scanning the QR code on your screen or visiting patreon.com/screensfromthebasement. Link in the episode description.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on over to our next hotel. We're going to check on into the Horror Hotel. Released, like I said, September 8th, 1960 in the UK. City of the Dead was also released September 12th, 1962 in the United States of America. Directed by John Moxey, who this is his first feature film. Mostly known afterwards for directing a ton of TV. He worked on every show from the 70s. He directed at least an episode of, including Murder, She Wrote, Charlie's Angels, everything that was on television in the 70s. Written by George Baxt, right? Yes. Story by Milton Stabilsky. Cast includes Patricia Jessel as Elizabeth Selwyn, the witch of Massachusetts. Dennis Lotus as Professor Richard Barlow. The great Sir Christopher Lee as Professor Alan Driscoll. And how do I pronounce her name? I should have looked this up. Venita Stevenson as Nan Barlow.
Oh, Venetia.
Venetia.
Yeah, that's how Joe Bob pronounced it anyways.
I should have listened to old JB on how to pronounce Nan Barlow's name. Sam, what is the City of the Dead, a.k.a. Horror Hotel?
Well, creepy-ass college professor Christopher Lee sends his most naive co-ed, a blonde named Nan, to his hometown where they once burned a witch alive. She's doing research on witchcraft. The witch, who is resurrected as the local innkeeper, sacrifices her to maintain power or youth or whatever. It's then up to her brother and boyfriend to solve her disappearance. City of the Dead, Horror Hotel, Psycho? What? These movies are a crazy good double feature. Like
they are.
They work so well together.
They do. Yeah, they have so many similarities, except one has a slasher and one has a witch.
Yeah, like they are very different movies.
Yes.
Thematically, stylistically, but like it is strange how almost to a T they are structured the same way.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Had Psycho opened like the Psycho book does with Norman.
Mm-hmm.
Like this movie does with
Selwyn.
Elizabeth Selwyn.
Yeah.
Even more similarities. Yeah, this movie is. I feel like
her name is Newless, Mrs. Newless, which is just Selwyn backwards, which is hilarious. I love that.
It's like
Nilbog from Troll 2.
Yeah, it's goblin spelled backwards.
So good.
Yeah, this movie is so iconic in so many different ways, even if you've never seen The City of the Dead.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
You have heard many lines from this movie before. This has to be one of the most sampled movies ever.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Part of it is because it's like Night of the Living Dead or Plan 9. Like, it's a public domain one. But also, it's just, like a lot of those public domain ones, it's stuck around for a long time. Like, there are plenty of movies in the public domain that you just can't even find anymore.
Yeah, you can't find, no one cares.
Yeah, this is not one of them. This is like a genuinely iconic movie that the filmmakers just happened to lose the rights to at a certain point, you know?
I mean, right away we get the opening witch burning, March 3rd, 1692, in the city of Whitewood, Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm. Whitewood.
Probably a sister city to Salem, if I were to guess.
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
And And then there's like right away within 5 minutes of this, there are two, in my opinion, iconic lines delivered that are then sampled in heavy metal music.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you got Christopher Lee saying superstition, fear, jealousy,
Right.
which is, yeah, the opening to
The opening
Dragula
of Dragula. Yeah.
from Rob Zombie. You also have burn, witch, burn, witch, burn, which
Yep.
is said at the beginning of the movie, which is sampled by one of my favorite bands in this moment for their song, The Witching
That's
Hour.
right. Yep, yep, yep. Oh God, that's such a good song too.
It
I was
is. And it
trying to I
samples,
was trying to
it
clock when
samples a
I
lot more from this movie, too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I was trying to clock where like I'd heard some of the other samples, but yeah, the Witching Hour like samples the fuck out of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just, I mean, iconic stuff to put in your kind of spooky, heavy rock music.
Yeah.
And rightfully
Yeah.
so.
Oh, for sure. Like this opening is great. Like I love a good like witch trial to open a movie, you know? Like I feel like that's something. So I didn't finish this because I fell asleep during it. I started Mario Bava's Black Sunday, I believe.
Yeah.
AKA The Mask of Satan, where it opens with like literally a witch getting like a spike mask to the face, and it's so gruesome. Like it's not just gruesome for 1960, it's gruesome for like even today, where I
Yeah.
was like, oh damn, like they show like blood spurting out of her face. Like it's fucked up. And I didn't finish it, obviously, so I won't be talking about it in Doobie Doing. But we were just like in that like 60s mood after watching this double feature, and so we popped the Joe Bob presentation of that one on, and I made it through like the second break and then I passed out. But no, like this opening is so good, and it's so like who's the you have it in your notes. Who's the actress that plays Elizabeth Selwyn?
Patricia Jessel.
Yeah, Patricia Jessel, that's right. Like she just has a face that exudes like she could play like a wealthy aristocrat, or she could 100% play a bog witch, and like
Yeah.
she uses that so well. Like her face is so good in this movie. I love it.
She has that Margaret Hamilton
Yeah.
type face, or
She could play both, you know? Like she can
yeah.
play like the wealthy landowner, but also like the like God, why am I like
Angelica
not so
Houston was the other name
yeah.
that was
Yes.
coming to mind.
Oh, very much. Yes. Like they're just women who are just like born to play a witch because of their striking features. I mean, Bonnie Aarons, I don't know if she's played a witch before, but like she's got one of those faces too, you know? And
Yeah.
I just yeah. I
mean, she's
love
sort
Patricia
of
Jessel in this.
sort of a witch in Mulholland
In the
Drive.
Nun. Oh yeah. Oh
Sort
shit.
of,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, sort of. That movie rules. Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Black Sunday, because I always get the opening of these two movies mixed up in my head.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
open the exact same, where it's like
They
immediately
do.
like a witch is on a like tied up and getting ready to be burned or killed.
Yep.
Like they're ready to kill the witch right away.
Yeah, 100%. And then
We'll have to cover Black Sunday at some point.
absolutely
It might be on our
like,
list already.
Probably.
It might be with Black Sabbath.
Sabbath. Yeah, I was about to say like there's Black Sunday and then there's Black Sabbath. We should 100% do that double feature sometime.
Yeah, those both rule.
Yeah, I haven't seen either one of them, so
Black
but they're
Sabbath
both
is
on
legit
the list.
one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
Okay, I'm pumped.
Terrifying.
That one's an anthology, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay. All right. So
I wanna take a class with Professor Christopher Lee, especially a class on witches. Like that. This sounds like the best college class ever.
yeah, it does. It's like it's such a fun opening scene, like, and what I love about it is it introduces a bunch of college kids that then don't even fucking matter to the rest of this movie. Like each one of them kind of gets personality and everything, and then you just never hear from most of them for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like Friday the 13th Part 2, where it's like, here's your cast of teens. Half of them aren't even in this.
I was just thinking of Scream 2, where they introduce like Joshua Jackson, and
Yeah.
then he's like never in the movie afterwards.
So true. Oh my god. I love that.
Scream 8, bring back Joshua Jackson.
Yeah. I mean, he could play a killer pretty easily. Jesus Christ, Boris.
I'm pretty sure he has on TV, right? He was like the killer doctor or whatever show he was on.
I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
Someone let us know. Was Charlie Conway a killer doctor on television?
Oh, yeah. So this class sets up the themes of the movie. I love how Nan is just like so obsessed with this research paper. She's like, I've got to do this research. My term paper has to be the best one. And I'm like, you have to go to a town to research it? Like, I'm like,
yeah, she like cancels her whole vacation again, much like Psycho.
Right.
She ditches her boyfriend.
Yeah.
While mentioning her sister, her cousin.
Yeah, it's like her cousin, but her brother is also a student, Boris.
Yeah.
Dude.
Boris, you gotta wait till we do Black Sabbath, and then you're in that one.
God, he's being a jerk tonight.
But yeah, she ends up going to Whitewood, because that's where she's doing her research paper on.
Yeah.
And on the way there is when we get introduced to the most important part of this movie.
The hitchhiker?
Fog!
Oh, yeah, the fog. Jeez. So, okay, two things. The fog, incredible. Like, overdone to the point of, like, it's just part of the movie. Like, you're just like, yeah, whatever. There's just tons of fog all day, all year, whatever. It's just a foggy town, I guess.
Yeah. When a town is doomed by the devil, put a curse on it, and the devil roams the streets of it. Yes, fog is always going to be around.
Yeah. Also, Nan might be the most aloof protagonist I have ever seen in a goddamn horror movie in my life. Like, she picks up a hitchhiker who's clearly creepy. The hitchhiker disappears from her front seat, and she basically just shrugs and moves on with her day.
Yeah.
The minute, and this is not me saying, oh, I would know, like, this is not one of those, I would do things differently, but I really wouldn't because you wouldn't know you're in a horror movie. Does not matter the context. If I picked up someone on the way into town, on the way into a creepy town, and then I got to the creepy town and looked in my passenger seat and they were just gone, I am U-turning the fuck out of that town. I am not going, like, I'm never going there again. I'm going back to my home, and I'm like, I'm smoking a bong and I'm watching a comfort movie, and I'm never thinking about that town ever again. Fuck that. Burn it with fire. I cannot believe this doesn't get any reaction from her.
Well, again, okay, maybe think of it this way. This is 1960. What year does like the Twilight Zone start showing up on television?
I mean, probably like, I think Twilight Zone was like 60, mid-60s.
59 was when
59.
it premiered.
No, yeah, see? She should know better. She should know better.
She didn't watch the first season. She
Like,
didn't watch the first season. She had to wait for reruns on CBS.
This.
So yeah, like this trope, but this
out.
trope of the hitchhiker is not a thing really in 1960.
No,
like this is where it picks up. I feel like,
yeah,
between this, Carnival of Souls has a
Twilight
similar
Zone,
scene.
yeah.
There is a Twilight Zone episode about a hitchhiker like that. I feel like that's when it starts to pick up in the zeitgeist. So I can't blame her for picking up the hitchhiker in the first place.
Oh no!
But I do blame her for this guy just up and disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
And okay. Also, this is the guy from the beginning of the movie that was one of the one of the townspeople who was asked if he laid with Elizabeth Selwyn.
Yeah. Aren't they also aren't isn't it also like their siblings? Like isn't it like an incestuous
I don't know
thing?
if I picked up on that. I might have missed something in there. Is it?
Okay. I could have swore like and maybe this was something that Joe Bob brought up that it was like the
Jethro
brother.
Keane is the name he gives, so it's not the
Okay,
same as
maybe not.
Elizabeth Selwyn.
Okay, then maybe not, maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking something from Black Sunday.
That might be.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking Black Sunday. Cause yeah, one of these movies for sure has like an incestuous relationship between the witch and her brother. Um, but yeah,
Another trope that is very early on in this movie that we see in other horror movies that would come is the Harbinger of Doom. Of
hmm
course, made famous by Crazy Ralph in the Friday the 13th,
yeah,
the first two Friday the 13th movies. Here, it's a priest of the town of Whitewood who delivers one of my favorite lines of this movie. The devil has hovered over this city.
yeah,
Like what a great line. He's like the devil is literally the fog, just
yeah,
hovering over the town of Whitewood. It's always there.
yeah.
Everyone has been infected by the devil in this town.
So I love the preacher, and then I love that we meet his daughter later.
Yeah, she's the shop owner.
Yeah, the shop owner who lends Nan the book. So, what's funny, when I was listening to Joe Bob, he was talking about how the actress who plays the shopkeeper, she did not realize the type of movie she was doing. She just got a role and she read her scenes and didn't read the whole script and didn't realize like what kind of like what the town was like or anything. And she's like, I would have played it creepier had I actually like known the context for my scenes. But here's the thing. I actually think the fact that she plays it like a normal person makes it so much creepier. I'm actually more suspicious of her than I am the rest of the town who's like stopping and staring at Nan. Because she seems like she's just, oh, hi, yeah, here's this book on Satanism and witchcraft. Like,
Make
and
sure you return it.
immediately, right, and immediately, like,
Yeah.
my brain is like, oh, she's in on it. There's something fucked up about, and then like it's not. And so like whether that's a happy coincidence or not, that's kind of just a delightful subversion. And I really like her performance in this actually, and I like that she doesn't play it the way the rest of the town does with like lingering stares and things like that. Because yeah, the shopkeeper is like my favorite honestly, like when she becomes one of the kind of main characters at the end, I really like that. I really like that she works with the brother and the boyfriend to like figure out what happened to
Yeah,
Nan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting that she didn't know what type of movie she's in.
Yeah.
Because, yeah,
Right?
that makes her performance so much better. Because it's like, no, she is just
She's
like
actually
Nan,
just a
a
happy go
normal
lucky.
person.
Yeah, exactly.
That,
So,
yeah, because it's mentioned in the movie, like, she's only been there a couple weeks
right.
to
She
help
came
take care
back
of her father.
because yeah, because her dad is not well.
And then you
But
get while Nan is reading, she hears about a young girl sacrificed by a coven after they take an object of desire,
yep.
and then she's sacrificed by a coven after they take her locket, which is an object of desire.
Yep.
It's pretty great. A little more on the nose than like what we talked about in Psycho.
Yeah. Like you I mean, she's literally at one point on the phone with some like she's talking through what happened or no, she's talking to Selwyn herself about what she's reading in this book.
Yeah,
And I'm like, "Girl, you're talking to the witch that is going to do this to you."
to you.
You know, and like this I know is more of a like I know this is a horror movie, so I'm like, "Oh my god." But like it is so like it's one of those moments where you it's one of those classic horror moments where you want to yell at the TV. I love it. I love it. But yeah,
And much like Marion, Nan is killed right away. 40 minutes into the movie, she's killed and not in it anymore. This is only an
yeah,
hour and 15-ish minute long movie.
yeah. It's quite a bit shorter than Psycho. Um, so like, and I told Maria this. I was like, like when Psycho, when Marion dies, I was kind of like, oh no, not her. Like she didn't, she's doing so, she was gonna go back and make things right. And when Nan gets killed, I'm kind of just like, what did you think was gonna happen?
Yeah. She should have seen that coming.
She should have seen that coming. My favorite part of Nan's whole thing is like she's like, I heard chanting below my room, and someone won't even open the trap door to show her what's beneath. She's like, it's just ground down there. And I'm like, girl, get
The
out.
fact that your room has a trap door
Yeah,
means you're going to end up in it at some point.
yeah, it's crazy. I don't know.
And then here in the movie kind of slows down a bit for me here in the second half. Unlike Psycho,
I
where then
agree.
we are following Norman and we're like in his shoes in many ways. This one
Yeah,
kind of slows down just because we're not in Selwyn's shoes. We are in her boyfriend Maitland
uh-huh.
and
And her brother.
her brother Dick.
Yeah,
We're in their shoes, and they're just not interesting characters like at all.
yeah. They're literally just there to investigate. Like
Yeah,
that's it.
they're
And
so, and there's not much difference between the two either. Besides, one's
no,
the brother and one's the boyfriend.
yeah. It's they're hard to differentiate. Like one of them gets in a car accident because of the fog and the like all the people, and the other one makes it into town okay, but I could not tell you which one was which.
The boyfriend gets in the car accident.
That's right. Yeah, it's the boyfriend that gets in the car accident.
Because he sees. Okay, here's the interesting thing. I just don't think it has any like sort of symbolism on who sees the hitchhiker. So
Yeah,
obviously
because
Nan sees the hitchhiker, picks him up.
yep, and
Her
then
brother Dick.
Patricia. Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Her brother Dick does not.
nope. But Patricia, the storekeeper, she
Yes,
sees.
correct.
And she has an appropriate reaction when he
When he
disappears from her
disappears.
passenger seat. She actually reacts like a normal person would.
Yeah. There's a character we haven't talked about yet, which is Lottie, the mute maid of the inn. And again, kind of
Yeah,
one of the normal people there.
yeah,
Lottie, not really introduced too much, basically is there to return the locket
yeah.
to
To let Patricia know that something is wrong, and Nan went missing from the hotel,
yeah,
not elsewhere.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then it turns out, oh, hey, look, Christopher Lee's been part of this the whole time, and
and you're like, well, yeah.
yeah, and the grass
Dude,
is green
dude
and the sky is
literally was
blue.
like,
Like, what else?
tell the witch that I sent you. She'll give you a room.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ugh.
so good.
And then kind of in again, how do you defeat a witch type situation where they hear earlier they got to hold up a cross to
Yeah,
defeat the witches. The boyfriend Maitland, after they discover like the coven of witches again in the cellar, because of course that's
yeah,
where this coven of witches is. Maitland takes this giant cross from the cemetery and like lifts it up above
yeah,
the coven, and they all like spontaneously burst into flames right in front of them.
yeah. Which, like, cool ending. Cool ending. My favorite part is when they come upstairs and they pull the blanket off of Selwyn and she's just burnt to shit. I'm like, that's a pretty gruesome
Yeah,
effect for 1960. Like, it's
both
pretty gnarly.
both movies basically end with a dead
A
body
corpse.
in a
Yeah,
chair.
yeah.
Again,
But
the
yeah,
similarities between these two movies. Here's the thing: if people are listening to this and are like, "Yeah, but you guys didn't really talk about this movie for too long," or go plot by plot, this movie is such a vibe movie
yeah, it really is.
where it's kind of you just gotta feel it. You gotta experience this movie.
Hmm. It's not plot heavy. Like it is very much like you're just wandering around this town with Nan for a long chunk of this, and you're just soaking in the vibes. And I think
Yeah,
that's the like I think that's the best part of this movie is like learning about the town and meeting the different people. Um but yeah, and again, it's a lot shorter than Psycho. It's an hour and 15, and it's an hour and 15 minutes of kind of straight vibes. It's like when you watch Carnival of Souls, I've seen Carnival of Souls how many times? I don't know if I could give you a beat by beat plot synopsis of that because it's just a vibe.
yeah.
And that's very similar to how City of the Dead is. And yeah, I don't know. I really like this movie. Again, I've only ever watched this with Joe Bob hosting it. I know Elvira did on her, so maybe I've watched it with Elvira too. Because she did it for her Shutter special, but I don't remember it
I was
from
gonna say I
that.
watched it with Joe Bob the first time, and then I
Yeah,
watched the movie this
just
time.
watched it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. When Joe Bob has an episode of a movie we're covering, I like to watch the Joe Bob episode if I have the time, because a lot of times it comes with research. I'm like, oh, I can listen to Joe Bob talk about this, and I know things about this movie now.
you're like
Um,
Joe Bob did the research for me.
yeah, exactly. I copy my
Cite
homework
your
from Joe Bob.
sources, Joe Bob Briggs.
So yeah, I don't know. I really like this one. I think it's really vibey. I think it's really atmospheric. Like final thoughts, Casey, and then how many charred Selwyns are you giving this?
It's no surprise that this movie is a favorite of so many horror influenced bands
Yeah.
because it is such a vibe heavy movie where it's
Yeah.
like you can take scenes out of this movie and pluck them into a music video. You can take certain lines and plug them into your song. Like it's just one of those type of movies.
I mean, I think one of Iron Maiden's biggest songs is just scenes from like the music video is just scenes from this
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. And much like where Rob Zombie got his band's name from, his name from White Zombie is such a just vibe movie where it's like that
yeah,
should just be music video fodder. This is one of
right.
those movies. Not to say that the movie is on itself on its own for 75 minutes is bad. No, not at all. It's actually a highly entertaining movie, but again, it's just a
Mhm.
vibe movie where you just experience it and be part of this world. So if you love 60s, 1950s, 60s movies, especially witch movies, occult movies, yeah, highly recommend Horror Hotel, The City of the Dead. I give this 3.5 burnt, charred bodies of witch Selvin. So that's where I'm at with this one. Three and a half. How about you?
Yeah, I give this a full four just because I really love the vibes of this. The last like you said, like what, Nan dies 40 minutes in, and then the
Yeah.
last 30 minutes or so are kind of, but I think the vibes just carry me for this one. I love a movie with a bunch of fog in it. Like, God, so much of this budget was probably just fog machines and Christopher Lee's salary. Like,
Yeah.
and I just love it for that. So yeah, it'll be 4 out of 5 charred Selwyn corpses for me. That final shot is just something else. It's gross and I love it. But yeah.
All right. Well, that's been our little vacation here. We're gonna check out of the horror hotel now.
Mhm.
We got our bags packed. We're ready to go. Sam, why don't you go ahead and let's hop in the car and give us that second ad read.
Yeah. We're gonna check out of the hotel, hop in the car, and go home where there might be a brand new Fangoria magazine waiting in our mailbox. What? Fangoria, for over 40 years, has been the leading source in horror for all things spooky, horrific, and macabre. The famed magazine is back with a vengeance each quarter with brand new issues of Fangoria magazine featuring interviews, retrospectives, and insight into the world of horror. We have an exclusive offer for our listeners to save 20% off their subscription to the magazine, the latest Fango merch, and so much more. You can visit shop.fangoria.com/screamsfromthebasement and use promo code screamsfromthebasement at checkout. Again, save 20% off that order. Thanks to Fangoria for helping support the show. Oh yeah, and there's a QR code down below if you're watching the video. Booyah! Fango! Casey?
Yeah.
Aside from watching cool horror hotel movies, what have you been doing? I think
What?
you've got a little bit of an interesting list this time.
I talked about this last time during Doobie Doing.
Yeah.
Me and my wife, Kayla, have developed a horror drinking game. Sip, Shot, Shark. So we continued on our Sip, Shot, Shark trek. Me more so than her with these. We watched 2 shark movies. I'm going to start with the one we watched second. We also introduced this game to other people as well. So if you are in our Discord, shout out Dylan Ferguson. He joined in for one of these. He watched, I believe, Sharks in Venice with his significant other, and then I watched Sharks in Venice and Shark Zone with my buddy Dakota, and he joined in this game, and he's like, "This is a horrible game. Like this, you will get drunk so fast."
You think he'd like that?
It's a quick game. You are cracking drinks pretty damn quick when you play this. So I'm going to start with Shark Zone. This was the second movie that we watched. By far the less fun of the 2 movies that we watched. The entire time I watched Shark Zone, this is like the quintessential straight to video type shark movie where you got multiple sharks. You have like secret fortune of diamonds that these divers are going after. I feel like every great shark movie has to have like some sort of hidden treasure element to it.
Yeah.
But with that, you have a main character who's played by actor Dean Cochran, who, for the entire runtime of this movie, I thought it was Dean Cain.
Like, because he looks like him?
Well, because he looks like him, and his name was Dean, and I thought it was Dean Cain. And same amount of acting ability, aka
Is that
none.
Dean Cain?
Yeah, this one's not very good. Can't really recommend it very much. Yeah, it's just a weird sci-fi channel-esque shark movie about divers going after lost diamonds, and one guy, the bad guy, can sort of control the sharks. Like he has the sharks sort of guarding like the hidden treasure. But, like, the sharks end up eating his henchmen? So it's like, you actually control them, or are they just sharks down in the water? Like, what?
Yeah.
What is going on? It's the perfect movie, perfect type of movie to watch for Sip, Shot, Shark. But I think maybe the most perfect movie ever to watch for Sip, Shot, Shark is Sharks in Venice.
Oh, yeah.
From 2008. Also, these are both directed by the same director. Didn't do much else besides Sharks in Venice and Shark Zone. This movie stars siblings to Alec Baldwin and Scarlett Johansson, Stephen Baldwin and Vanessa Johansson. Did you know ScarJo has a sibling who's an actress?
I actually did not. That is news to me. What the hell?
Yeah, she's in this. She was in Eleanor the Great that ScarJo directed last year. She's also in Steve Miner's Day of the Dead. Like, Zombie Day of the Dead.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
First time I've ever heard of her.
So
Interesting.
sharks in Venice. You can probably guess what the plot of this movie is. Is there sharks in
In
Venice?
Venice? Yeah.
Guess who's not in Venice though? Stephen Baldwin, because it is very clear every time they shoot with Stephen Baldwin, they are on a set or in a different country that is definitely not Venice. Basically, he plays a character whose father has disappeared while diving in the city of Venice. And he stumbles across this, again, hidden fortune underwater, because every great shark movie needs to have a hidden fortune underwater.
Yeah.
This leads to the mafia trying to go after the treasure, to his girlfriend, played by Scarlett Johansson's sister, being kidnapped by said mafia, and for him to turn into a badass action hero to save her. So
Okay.
all the tropes that you would love in a great B movie and a great B shark movie are in Sharks in Venice. Highly recommend this movie if you are not sober.
Fair. Fair. Love a
And,
good non-sober movie.
and then last but certainly not least, that wrapped up my shark movie watching. I watched the 1991 Tom McLaughlin movie, Sometimes They Come Back. Have you
Yeah.
seen this movie?
So this is one that I started late at night and I fell asleep with like 20 minutes left, and I do want to go back and actually finish it because I liked what I saw of it.
Yeah.
It's like a low budget 90s straight to video movie, but like I liked it. It was kind of interesting actually.
Yeah, so this is based on a Stephen King story, directed by Tom McLaughlin, who directed
Mhm.
the best Friday the 13th movie, Friday the 13th
Hell
Part
yeah.
6. And the movie stars Tim Matheson, who I think is like super underrated. Like, I love Tim Matheson for some reason. I
Yeah.
think he's like really good in like
I mean,
everything.
he's really fun in this movie,
Yeah.
particularly. Yeah.
Um, and basically, I mean, this is a very similar trope to It. It feels like this movie feels sometimes they come back feels like It if the clown never shows up.
Yeah, it's just the greaser bull. The greaser bullies are the supernatural villains in this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pennywise. Yeah.
yeah,
So basically, Tim Matheson returns to his hometown where his brother was killed by this greaser gang who also is killed during this train accident. So this greaser gang is chasing down him and his brother as their kids down this tunnel on these train tracks. The car gets stuck on the tracks. Tim Matheson, as a kid, takes the keys and kind of runs off to get away from the bullies. They all
yeah,
end up trapped on the train tracks and end up getting killed by the train. His brother ends up getting killed in that as well.
yep,
So now, all these years later, 30-ish years later, he returns back to his small Maine town that he lives in, and now the ghosts of these kids are his students in his classroom. And they start
yeah,
showing up one by one, and every time they show up, one of his the members of his class start disappearing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so it has that total, like, cozy 90s Stephen King vibe. Like, I know all of these adaptations that were of King during this time, like Thinner, I would even
yeah.
throw
They're
Pet Cemetery in there,
oh yeah, like none of them are super
Misery,
great. Well, okay, Misery
besides Misery.
is on a different level.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but no, I know what you mean. Like
Like,
they're
90s
not
King
great
adaptations just have a
movies.
certain...
Yeah, but they're
Like,
they're like cozy. They're a
yeah.
vibe.
And all of them are different directors, which I just find so fascinating. Mick
Yeah.
Garris did the Shining miniseries, like that has that
Or even
similar
like
vibe too.
The Stand, like
Yeah.
Maria and I just popped that on VHS the other like a few weeks ago, and that like yeah, that's got that too.
Yeah, it's just a super cozy vibe that I don't know if it can ever be replicated. I think it's just that decade with that material of Stephen King to
Yeah.
get those budgets. I think the budgets
Yes.
is
The
also a part of
budget
it.
is a big thing. Yeah.
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 But it's just, yeah, it just reminds me of fall afternoons.
Mm-hmm.
It's what these 90s King adaptations remind me of. So,
Yeah.
highly recommend Sometimes They Come Back. I thought it was really good. So if you're a fan of that 90s Stephen King
Yeah.
era, this is definitely worth a watch.
Hell yeah.
Sam, what about you? What have you been doobie doing?
I'm gonna segue into a movie that I actually, while we were watching it, I commented to Maria. I'm like, this kind of has a little bit of that '90s Stephen King vibe. It is not a '90s Stephen King vibe. It is Phantasm 4. I just watched it last night. Because rest in peace, Reggie Bannister. You were an icon, and I love you. And yeah, the Phantasm movies are movies that I've been slowly going through over the past few years. And last episode, I talked about 3, which was batshit. Like, that movie was insane. 4 is more of a return to the roots. Like, it's a lot lower budget than 3 was, and you can tell. And so Coscarelli kind of goes back to maybe the more like, you've only seen the first Phantasm, correct, Casey?
Correct. Yeah, this is
Okay.
like my big blind spots horror series.
Dude, we're gonna have to do like a Phantasm thing on the pod sometime, because I love this series. Like, every single movie I've watched so far, and I know 5, I've heard things, but I'm still very excited to watch it because I also heard things about 4, and I really liked it. It's definitely more of a vibey, metaphysical kind of movie, the same way that the first one is. It's not as action packed as 2. It's not as like zany as 3, but it has so many cool moments. You get a lot more backstory on Angus Scrimm and his character of the tall man and how he gets to where he is. And obviously Reggie Bannister as Reggie, just one of the best protagonists in horror ever. Like, I'm gonna say it, I put him up there with Ash Williams as like someone who can carry a fucking franchise. Like, he knows the tone of the Phantasm movies and he strikes it perfectly every time. He's always trying to bed a woman that's like half his age, usually unsuccessfully. Whenever the orbs start flying around, he's like acting against like little silver balls, like it's Shakespeare. Like, these movies get so crazy, and he just somehow anchors them with his down-to-earth ice cream man who just happens to take on the mantle of fighting the tall man and his compressed little demon things. Like, I fucking love these movies. Oblivion is probably my least favorite of the 4 I've seen, but it's still very fun. Still, like, has way more imagination than a lot of other horror franchises of its like of this ilk. And this is turning into like honestly one of my favorite horror series. Like, I love the Phantasm movies. Um I literally got AMC Plus and switched over from Shudder just because, for some reason, a very Joe Bob Christmas, where he did Phantasm, Phantasm 3, Phantasm 4, and Phantasm 5 all in one night for Christmas for some reason. Um, it's not available on Shudder, even though they have all the movies, but it is available on AMC Plus. So I switched over to AMC Plus. I don't know. It's weird. Um, but yeah, so I love these Phantasm movies. We'll definitely have to do a podcast episode on a few of them at some point. I think you're gonna fucking love Phantasm 2. It's my favorite of the series so far. Um, but yeah, we'll do something. We'll do something with that soon. Uh, Also, Phantasm 2 would kill as a late night at the State. That's all I'm gonna say. Uh, as far as other sequels I watched, I did watch the new Ready or Not, which for
Yeah,
some reason they call it Ready or Not 2 Here I Come, but the title card in the movie is Ready or Not Here I Come, which is the better title. What are we doing?
because movie studios think we're stupid.
Yes, 100%. I wanted to like this movie more. I think that the cast is doing great work. Like, I love the addition of Catherine Newton. Sarah Michelle Gellar is great in that. Like, all of the new people that they bring in are fantastic. Like, even Kevin Durand and his like little, he's not in the movie very long, spoilers I guess, but like even in his few scenes that he has, he's really good. um Elijah Wood kind of steals the movie for me, but like the whole time I was kind of like, I've seen this movie before. Like, I don't feel like they did anything all that different with it. And then the third act happened, and there's a little bit of a shift where it's like, oh, are they going to do something like different this time? This is interesting. And then they just kind of played the hits from the first one again. It ends pretty much the same way as the first one. And I was just kind of like, I just, I wanted more, which is weird because this movie is literally just more of the first one. But I wanted it to do something weird, and it
Yeah.
never did. It just,
I think the third act gets close to it,
it does,
but it feels like that should have happened halfway through the movie instead of the third act.
Agreed. It just doesn't give it any time to breathe. Also, I will say there are some acts of violence in this that are a little too real world, that kind of almost like darken it almost too much. Like, there's one scene in particular that I was like, oh, that is just like a really ugly act of violence that like, this movie's supposed to be fun, and I don't feel like
With
this particular
Sarah Michelle Gellar's boyfriend or
brother.
brother.
Yes.
Yes, he's the worst character in the movie.
Yeah, agreed. I just, there were scenes with him where like the actor doing a good job. I don't like the way this character behaves in this world where we're supposed to be kind of having fun with bloody violence. So yeah, it was a mixed bag for me. If you like the first one, you'll find stuff to like here. If I'm gonna pop on a Ready or Not movie, it's gonna be the first one. Like, this one I might not ever watch again, honestly. But yeah. I'm just gonna go backwards through these. I watched Parents, the the Randy Quaid
movie yeah.
from 1989. This is a very dark comedy. I think part of it was I watched this after two other movies that were very dark, and I think I had just had enough darkness in the day to where Parents kind of left a pit in my stomach. Like, I know dark comedy is supposed to, and like usually I love that. But Parents didn't quite work for me. I still gave it 3 stars. I like it. I think the performances from the parents, and I mean even the kid. The little kid in this movie has only been in Parents, but he's really good. Like, how did you not act in more? Like, I don't know. It was strange. But I do recommend Parents if you like a good late 80s, early 90s dark comedy. Like, it very much feels in line with stuff like The Burbs and, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Heathers. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Parents. One that I really liked, I've been trying to watch more of the early Peter Jackson stuff because I finally watched Dead Alive like a year ago, and that movie's amazing.
So good.
Like, that's one of the best splatter comedies I've ever seen. And it really blew my socks off. So I watched The Frighteners with Michael J. Fox, and I didn't like this one quite as much as I did Dead Alive. Like, I think Dead Alive is definitely the better movie. Frighteners gets really dark, like darker than I expected it to. But it's also really fun. I think Michael J. Fox as a leading man is just like, I miss when we had Michael J. Fox as a leading man in movies. Because his performance in this is so off kilter and weird, but like, it's so fascinating. Like, he's very much able to anchor a movie, even being like kind of a bristly, like, you don't necessarily like him weirdo, you know? Like I don't think he's a particularly likable character in this, but you still want to follow him through the whole thing. Um, Weirdly, this kind of, in a lot of ways, just with the way the main character is and the way he interacts with people, it kind of reminded me of Adam Scott and Hokum, where like I'm like, I don't know if I like this character, but I like being with this
Mm.
character. Um,
Frighteners Hokum double feature.
that would be kind of cool, actually.
I've never seen
that,
Frighteners. It's
oh
like the one
really?
Peter Jackson movie I've not seen.
Okay, okay. I think you would like it. I think it's got its flaws. It's a little
Yeah.
too long for what it is, but like there's a good blend of like CG and practical effects that I really like. Oh, what's his face? The guy who plays Gomez Adams in The Addams Family.
Raul
Um,
Julia?
no, the
Not Raul
sitcom.
Julia. Who am I thinking of?
Well, I mean he does in the movies. Raul Julia does. But I'm
Oh, are you
talking
talking in the
John
series?
Aston. John Aston, yeah, the
Oh,
series. John Aston plays a ghost in this movie, like an old, like, westerny kind of ghost in it, and I didn't even recognize him in this movie at all. And when I found out it was him, I was like, holy shit, that's amazing. Um, yeah, The Frighteners just it has a really interesting story. It's got some good laughs. It's got some cool effects. Like Jackson was clearly playing around with CG on this one, and it's 90s CG, so it doesn't
yeah.
all hold up, but it is pretty fun. Also, crazy fucking D Wallace performance. Like worth worth watching for D Wallace alone.
Because this is the last thing he did before Lord of the Rings, right?
I think so, yeah. I think the next thing after this was Lord of the Rings.
Crazy.
So
Because I'm
yeah.
pretty sure it's Bad Taste, Dead Alive, Frighteners, and then
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings, right?
and Meet the Feebles is
Oh,
somewhere in there too,
Yeah,
which
and
I
Meet the
haven't
Feebles
seen
might be
that.
before all of those, I think.
Yeah, I think that might have been his first one. But yeah, so the Frighteners, like, I'm looking forward to watching Bad Taste and Meet the Feebles because I've really liked both of these pre-blockbuster Peter Jackson movies. He has a way about horror comedy that I really like. And then the last movie I wanted to talk about, uh, this movie fucking blew me away. I didn't even really know it existed until we watched it. But Maria and I were scrolling through Canopy, and Canopy just has a great selection of like classic horror. And so I've probably watched Invasion of the 78 Invasion of the Body Snatchers like 4 times this year. I just really love that
So
movie.
good.
And I was feeling like another Donald Sutherland movie because I'm just like so much of what I love about Invasion of the Body Snatchers is that Donald Sutherland performance, you know? And so I watched Don't Look Now from 1973. This movie fucked me up emotionally. It's about a couple who, after their daughter drowns and dies, they, like, it's years later and they go to Venice where Donald Sutherland has accepted a job to restore this old church. Um, and while they're there, his wife, played by Julie Christie, she meets these 2 old ladies, one of whom is a blind psychic, who says that their daughter is still with her, like with them, and that she has messages and she wants them to get out of Venice because Donald Sutherland is in danger. And Donald Sutherland is a skeptic and he is like, no, this is stupid. I'm not, like, basically, he's like, I'm not indulging these fantasies. Meanwhile, he keeps seeing a small figure in a red rain jacket, which is what his daughter was wearing the day she died, running through the streets of Venice. And he starts having these visions, and just weird things start happening. And it all, like, it's very vibey, it's very atmospheric. Again, it's not like a plot heavy movie, but it builds to an ending that broke my fucking heart. Like, it is one of the most gut punch endings I have ever seen in a movie. It's fucking terrifying, too. Like, There's one shot that is just burned into my brain that I'm just like, oh, I'm never gonna forget that. There's another shot that's burned into my brain because I'm like, that's the saddest fucking thing I've ever seen. Like, it is a masterpiece. I rated it 4.5 out of 5, and I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, I haven't been able to stop thinking about this movie since I watched it. Probably a 5 out of 5 for me. I really, really love Don't Look Now. Um, like, no notes. Fucking great movie. So, Casey, I know when I texted you, you were like, I've never even heard of this. And I'm like, I hadn't
Yeah.
either. So, but
Yeah, and then friend of the show through other conversations, Nick Simon
yes,
mentioned
he
this
brought it
movie
up.
literally like the day after you watched it or something like that.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And it honestly, if
Can't
Don't
believe
Look Now inspired his new movie, I can't fucking wait for his new movie.
I can't believe we both watched two classic films that take place in Venice
I know, right? Both just fantastic movies that really
with fantastic leading men, Donald Sutherland and Stephen Baldwin. Two of the greats of cinematic history.
Venice double feature on the podcast sometime.
Drop a comment out there. Let us know if you want us to do a Venice double feature of the all-time classic Sharks in Venice and the little-known Don't Look Now.
You know what? We'd do that double feature, and I guarantee you that episode would do numbers.
Oh, 100%.
Like, that would just be one of those episodes that blew up, because why the fuck not?
Because why not? What other podcast is going to cover those two movies together?
Right.
Speaking of podcasts, of where, like, why are they covering those two movies? What other podcast is covering them? Sam, what else do we have coming up here for the month of August? We just had an interview drop.
Yeah, we just had an interview drop with, holy shit, why am I? Joseph Scrimshaw, who directed Dead Media, a love letter to DVDs and horror throughout the years. This movie was a ton of fun. The conversation is great. So you can listen to that now on your podcast feeds. I just recorded an interview, which will probably drop as a bonus in the next week or so, since the movie's
Yeah, we haven't decided on a release date, so it'll be roughly when this episode's out.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for an episode on Shudder's new release, Hellcat, which hits the day this episode airs, I'm pretty sure. I didn't put that in my recently watched because it was under embargo, but this will be... Hellcat fucking rules, everybody.
We'll
it's
probably
really
drop
good.
the interview after the movie comes out.
Yeah. Go into it knowing as little as possible. It's a really fun, one location, low budget feature that just goes in directions that I was not expecting. I got to talk to the writer, director, and the star of it, Brock Bordell and Dakota Gorman. So, check out Hellcat. Be on the lookout for that interview. Our next interview we have with Kevin Kepi. Is that right?
I'm actually on that one.
Yeah,
I was actually there.
on that one. Because our schedule finally worked out.
Not a total slacker.
So, we have an interview with creature actor Kevin Kepi, who you might know as the demonic mother from Smile, among countless other things. Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. Kevin's great. You'll be hearing more about Kevin from this podcast later. And that's all I'll say about that. And then our last double feature is the Alvin and the Chipmunks one, right?
Yes, like I said, What other podcast is talking about the 1999 and 2000 straight-to-video Alvin and the Chipmunks meet Frankenstein and meet the Wolfman double feature?
Hell yeah.
Boom. Lots of excitement already about us covering the two Alvin and the Chipmunks
it's
monster
because
movies.
They're classics, man.
They are. Back doing our thing, talking gateway horror.
Hell yeah.
But Sam, if they want to listen to any of those episodes here coming out throughout the rest of the month, where can they find us?
Oh, you got to make sure that you're subscribing to us. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube. If you like that video component, make sure to subscribe. leave a 5-star review, leave a comment. You know, even if you didn't like our fried brain commentary on your favorite movie,
At least
leave a
comment like that guy.
Yeah, it's fun. We love reading them. We love feedback. I hope my brain wasn't too fried tonight for your taste for station, and and yeah, you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, and TikTok. We're posting about every episode there, plus cool events like our upcoming Screams by Night convention. Be on the lookout for more announcements regarding that. And Casey, if they want to support the show monetarily, how can they do that?
Again, the best way to do so is by joining our Patreon for as little as $1 a month. You can help us out. Can't get anything for $1 nowadays, but you can help out the podcast. It helps us literally pay the bills to run the podcast, and helps us get more eyes on it as well. So yeah, again, that's one of the best ways you can help do so. And again, just share us out on social media. Drop a comment. Literally, just dropping a like and a comment can help so much on a small little podcast like ours. Even if you didn't like the episode, and we will probably call you out if you leave a comment on our podcast. Just letting you know.
Whether
also,
it's good or bad, we'll call you out.
Yeah, good or bad. You can also check out our exclusive merch on tpublic.com. Link in the episode description. Pick up a t-shirt, a hat, a pair of socks even. You can pick up a pair of socks if you want.
I didn't know that.
We do have socks. So yeah, check out our TeePublic store. We can find all of our exclusive merch there. Yeah, and again, Screams by Night. I mean, we're already starting to talk about, we're heading into spooky season. We're halfway to Halloween, if you think about it, really.
That's true.
So more announcements coming soon. We do have the full announcement of May 1st, 2027 at the downtown Hilton Garden Inn in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Save the date. More announcements are going to be coming soon. Bigger, badder, screamsier than ever.
Screamsier.
We'll work on a tagline for year 3, but more announcements coming soon.
The self-delusional occultists are back for a 3rd round.
Again, if you leave comments, we will be sure to shout them out on the podcast. Because we know ball.
Anyways, we know ball. Anyways, everybody, reminder, we support trans youth on this show. Fuck ICE, they're still doing their thing for some fucking reason. Get them out of here. Horror has always been political, and always will be. And thanks for tuning in, and sweet screams.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.